It's a bird.
It's a plane.
Nope. It's just another Superman movie. Wet Movie 1 here with Andrew, and we just got out of seeing
Superman, or no, not
Superman.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel or Superman 5 or
6, 7.5,
7.
2/3.
Yeah, it doesn't
Who gives
even
a
matter. What, do you want to give the quick synopsis about the film, or is it just like all the other ones that start off with Superman, like the first one?
It's not like all the other Supermans, but it does give us the familiar story of how Superman left Krypton as a child because his parents sent him, you know, off to a distant universe or planet.
Yeah, before theirs gets
before Krypton gets, you know, implodes.
Yeah.
So, so we get a more of a different backdrop. Same basic story. It's kind of different. When it comes to Earth, we kind of see more of Superman as a child. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about that?
You get to see him as a child, but you don't get to see him as much as a child as you would want. Yes. Or at least for me, like you do in the Christopher Reeve movies, you get to see him like, oh, he can run. Mm-hmm. He can, like, you know, run next to the train and all that. You don't get that kind of stuff in this.
It's different. What I liked about it, though, is you really get they humanized Superman for the first time, in my opinion. That was really approachable. Like, you see him struggle with trying to fit in. Like, you really see him as an outcast as a child. But the one thing that kind of was a shift was this non-linear narrative that didn't really gel for the type of storytelling that they wanted to do.
Yeah, because it would cut, you know, to the Superman as him now, and then like you see Superman like he's walking out of like a bar or some restaurant, he's looking at a school bus, and then it cuts into that school bus, but then it's him as a kid again, and you're just getting is that what you're trying to say? Because it's kind of like all over the place that way.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt the old ones with Christopher Reeve, you kind of felt for him, you know, more passionate about him than you do in this one, to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, maybe Christopher Reeve was just like, you know, the Superman and me.
Yeah.
You know?
But, you know, in general, you know, going off of that, I think Superman was pretty well casted, in my opinion.
The guy that played Zod was good.
And the guy, you know, Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Great guy, you know, from, you know, the Iceman and Boardwalk Empire. Great General Zod. Liked him. And even his supporting cast of villains was awesome.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't just like one villain. And what I loved about the villain, I don't know what you felt, is it was like the Joker in a way, where, and some other villains, where you sometimes, with the rationale of what they do, they're justified in a way. It's not like they're just acting out. Well, maybe not the Joker, it's not the best. But it's like they have a real rationale and a reasoning behind their actions. Mm-hmm. And so once you kind of really like think about it, you're like, he's just trying to do what he actually thinks is right.
Yeah.
And so Superman's also trying to do what he thinks is right. And so you get this amazing kind of a conflict that in this movie didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it didn't. It really kind of bored me. I was jittering in my seat like half the movie. I was just kind of like, oh God. You know, and there's a couple of people in the movie theater that were doing the same thing, and they were younger kids. Mm-hmm. But then there was also people in the theater when like certain things would happen, they're like, yeah, woo! I'm like, I didn't feel that. I didn't get that feeling whatsoever in this.
I was closer to booing, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a bit long. I think it was like 2 hours and 40 something minutes.
The pacing was terrible.
Yeah.
And just in general, I think the story, there was good points that you can tell were written, but just whatever was wrong with this movie, to me, falls on Zack Snyder as a director, because you see the flaws in this film, and it kind of goes back to the flaws of his other films, and so you start to see a repeat pattern here, and it's a flawed movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan.
No, me neither. Yeah.
Like we mean you were talking about it. His movies look amazing. They're amazingly looking,
and his trailers look phenomenal, right?
Yeah. But then just the movies for me kind of fall flat, because 300, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't care. Sparta! I'm like, okay, I can see why people kind of like want to like do that to themselves when they watch that kind of stuff, you know? They like, put on the Married Children t-shirt and just like walk into a Zack Snyder movie.
And do some push-ups after and try to get that.
I ain't doing no push-ups. Oh, shit. You know, pinky push-ups or something.
Or cock push-ups.
Yeah.
Tenacious D.
Yeah. But there was some cool supporting cast in here. You get Kevin Costner playing his dad on Earth, and you get Russell Crowe as his dad on Krypton. Those guys were well casted. Yeah. I kind of dug their characters more than anybody else in the movie.
I think the parents were actually the best characters and the best, not developed, but they were given good depth, especially Kevin Costner.
Yes.
For the time he had on screen, he really brought it, and he also really helped the Superman character reach an audience.
He wasn't on screen very much, but the little time that he had, he did a good job.
Yeah.
But is there any other points you want to get across before we give our ratings?
You know, I'm trying to think. It's so tough. You know, I try to tackle the main concerns I had, but just in general, I had some. You know, it was a frustrating outing for me as a movie. You know, the trailer, as all of Zack Snyder's movies, like we said, looked beautiful.
Yes.
And just the movie just didn't deliver. The structure, the pacing. He gave us good characters, and he presented them with depth, but he didn't explore them or carry those beyond the initial things that he gives us. So for that, it was tough.
Yeah. So out of a 0 to a 10, what would you rate this one?
I'm gonna have to go like a 5.5 to a 6.
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 to 6. Yeah. What about you, man?
I'm gonna give it about a 4, just because I would have gave it much lower, but the visuals and just seeing Superman fly, man, is the kind of stuff I like. You know what I mean? Because ever since I was a kid, man, all of you guys after watching this wanted to fly at one point in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I want to have a superpower. You're just like, you know, bolt up out of there, like out of school or something. Yeah. But I would give it that.
Right on.
But we guys always ask you guys a question in these videos. What's the question today, sir?
What is a superhero movie that either exceeded your expectations or actually let you down?
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, this movie kind of let me down. What about you?
Yeah, it did. I was so pumped up and hyped up for this one. Yeah. And it just,
it's no Dark Knight.
No. No.
No way.
No.
That's an example of a
Batman all the way, son.
For life.
Yeah, man. For life. All right, guys, remember to follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box. I want to give a big, quick shout out to my homeboy, Wasting Money 1, over here on YouTube. His name is John. He makes these cool thumbnails for us, man.
Awesome videos, too.
Yeah, awesome videos, too. He does awesome movie nights. Please subscribe to him. Link on the top of the description box or somewhere in your description box. If you guys love, like, movie outings and stuff, you'll definitely love his channel. And me and Andrew have got to go.